This week on Media Loan, I have the Geely EX2, the #1 selling car in China. Not just electric car, but #1 selling car. And it's just over 4.1 meters long, which is fantastic. It comes in two variants, the Complete and the Inspire. Weirdly, the Complete is actually not complete, it's the base model, but that's just the naming. So the base model has only 252 kilometers of range, 6 kilowatt AC charging and only 60 kilowatt DC charging. I do not think that that is enough. Price is in the description. It's about just under 29.5 grand drive away. But this one, the Inspire, I think this is the one that they'll sell. This car is rear-wheel drive, by the way. It's the only hatch that's rear-wheel drive. Really is an advantage, I think. So the Inspire is 345 kilometers of range, 6 kilowatt AC charging again, which is unfortunate, but 80 kilowatt DC charging. So that is an improvement. I think this is the one to buy. Let us go and have a little look inside. Okay, so we have a very simple door handle, just like the BYD Atto 1, actually, which would be competition to this car, believe it or not, it would be. Now, I want to talk about this. This is piano black. This all does feel quite cheapy. So, I mean, it is a cheap car, so let's be fair. Nice things like soft touch materials here, which is good, but this is piano black, and this lights up, which is, it's got light behind it, which is quite nice. In China, as I recall, it had like quite a full-on cityscape, so I'm glad they've replaced that. They've toned that down, which is good, but I feel like putting your hand here, this is going to get scratched, which is a bit of a shame. We've got adjustment for mirrors in the door here and a little bit of storage as well in the door, which is pretty good. Okay, do you think, is it just me, or do you think this looks like a Smart? Because Geely and Mercedes own Smart together, and I feel like this entire area looks like a Smart #3 or a Smart #1. Is that just me? I don't think it's just me. These are electrically adjustable seats, but there's not a lot of adjustment in them. Let's just say there's not quite enough in them, because the bit that you sit on, you can't tip it up and down like that. You can only, basically it just goes up and down, back, forward and back. So a little bit of a lack of adjustment there. That tends to happen in cheaper cars. I would love to see a bit more in the future. So we have vents. Again, this is very smart as well, isn't it? You can have got vents you can move with your hands, and this lovely central little instrument cluster here. I like that that's inset into the dash. No head-up display, but lots to see here. Consumption isn't there though, which is a bit strange. It tends to be in screen. Maybe there's a way of changing that, but I would love to see consumption there. We've got some buttons here. That's your gear selector on this side, and then we've got our indicator on the left. I actually really like the Geely software and their screens. They're really crisp. So you can see here, everything is just like really snappy, really nice. Wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto. Of course, your aircon is all in screen, which is kind of annoying. I was a bit worried at first. I thought that the recirculate button wasn't here and you'd have to go here, but actually it's here. It's a physical button for it. Yes, that, massive win, massive win. Thank you, Geely, for doing that. Excellent. But yeah, aircon's all in screen, seats, sure. But you've got shortcuts here for things like your heated seats. You get heated seats in this version, the top spec, heated steering wheel, you get a 360 camera, so all the nice things. You get ambient lighting, you get 6 speakers instead of 4, powered tailgate, so definitely, and more range, 345 kilometers of range, so definitely I would go this top spec for sure. But I just love that you can basically, I'll put the car in drive, and essentially this is your driver setup. These are things that have been, you can choose to turn on or off. That's your profile, and you go, okay, and then all those things are off, which is superb, superb. And actually the bings and bongs in this car are not as intrusive. It's like Geely have actually been listening to their customers, and the bings and bongs originally in the EX5 were really full on. They're much more muted and toned down in this car, which is also great. But yes, you can turn them off really, really easily, which is fantastic. So vents you can move with your hands. You've got, as I said, a wireless phone charger, which is good in this top spec. Love that recirculate button. Quick to hazard lights. It is, you know, piano black, but it is what it is. You've got a bit of storage under here, and actually that's a nice big storage area. USB-C, USB-A down there. We've got our cup holders here, and you can stand up a phone. This is lined as well, which is nice, and it looks like you can pull that out and clean it, which is good. And this is, that's actually really big. That's really deep. That's fantastic. And again, lined. Oh no, it's not. It's just cheapy plastic down there. So a surprising amount of storage there, which is excellent. But yeah, I wish there was just a bit more adjustment in these seats. And you know, at night this will be lit up and lit up, but it's better than the cityscape that was there before, trust me. Lots of headroom, which is good. We've got, you know, a bit of this going on. That's a bit nice, isn't it? But yeah, look, for the price, it's actually a really lovely place to be. It doesn't, even though there are some cheapy plastics around, it's a really nice environment. They've done a lot to make you feel nice in this environment, considering it's a lot less than a Smart, and it kind of feels a lot like that. Let's go look in the back. Okay, so before I do anything else, I actually want to show you under here, look at all this amazing space. You could get a little basket where you can just shove your bags under there out of the way. That is really great. I would love that to be a drawer like in the EX5. That would have been a nice addition, but still really good. Just buy a Kmart basket and off you go. All right, lots of headroom back here. I'm 165 centimeters tall, so that's actually really comfy. You've got a grab handle, no central armrest, so a bit of cost cutting there as well. It is 3 seats back here. Some, you know, I'm thinking some cars, I should say, are only 4-seat, like Hyundai Insta, Atto 1, but yeah, this is definitely a 5-seater car. We've got our pocket here, completely flat floor. We've got our vents we can move with our hands. Weirdly, we've got a USB-A loan port down there and a teeny tiny bit of storage. So yeah, just like the Aion UT, USB-A port. Strange, right? But yeah, that light headliner really makes a difference, I think. It just adds to that sense of space, and we have a light there as well. But really, really nice back here. I don't really feel like I'm in such a small car, only just over 4.1 meters long, 4.13. And it's like, no, it feels nice. Let's go look at the boot. We do have a rear windscreen wiper, which is good. And in this top spec, as I said, a powered tailgate. I do like these taillights, very cute. So not a huge boot, it's not a huge car. And actually this parcel shelf isn't, you'd think that there would be strings attached, but there are no strings attached. So I'll just lift that up like that. Now, this is a bit odd. We do not have a false floor here of any way. You can't lift this up for your cables. That is a real miss. And I'll particularly show you when I put the seats down why I think that's a shame. Yeah, weird, right? We've got a shopping hook here, no light, shopping hook here, but yeah, just feel like a false floor here would have been great for cables. Let's put the seats down. Bit of a cost-cutting measure here. Not being a proper handle, only a cloth thing, and look at that. So quite the lip, right? And I feel like if we'd had a false floor here, that could have been nice and flat, and actually that would have been a great option. So maybe in an update down the track, it would be great if Geely could add a false floor here, just so that we can make that flat, because that is a massive lip. So yeah, not great for the run to the hardware store, but it's enough for your city car, which is what this is. It's not trying to be anything else. It's a city car. Actually, before we go and look and see if it's got a frunk, I just want to talk about the position of this charge port. Yes, it doesn't have fast enough charging, but that charge port is fantastic. That's the perfect spot, I think. It's great for DC charging, great for curbside charging, pole charging, and good for home charging. So rear, passenger side, love that. And one other little thing I absolutely adore about this car, why don't more people do this? It's a drawer. And you can fit loads of bottles of wine in there. I love that. I think that is so cool. Let us go and see if it has a frunk. So being rear wheel drive, I have hopes. No other electric hatch has a frunk, because they're all front wheel drive. What do you reckon? Oh, baby. And look, it even stays up. Oh, I would like a little bit of sound deadening there, actually. That would have been nice. But wow, look at that. Boom. So yes, no space under the boot, it's true, and you've got all that, but my Kia EV3 does say you shouldn't store your cables on the frunk, but then I have a much smaller frunk, so maybe this is okay. But wow, that is so useful and really does set this apart from other electric hatches out there. That is great, isn't it? And actually other cars, there's loads of bigger, much bigger cars or SUVs that don't have that. That's a big, big plus. Let's take it for a drive. So something a little bit different today. I'm here with Sam from The Driven.
Hello.
We are driving of course, now the Geely EX2.
Of course.
Of course, on the launch. Sam, you've driven the car already, and this is my first time driving it. What are your thoughts?
I think it's going to be a great city car, and that's what it's designed to be, and I think that's what it does well. I think it's limited in capability beyond that, partly by the range, but also just in the way that it drives. I think you would have noticed already quite light steering.
Very light steering, actually.
It doesn't feel like it's got a whole lot more to offer on the highway or on the motorway. It is a city car, and I guess we shouldn't be that surprised because that's really what it's geared towards. So
it is the only one that's rear-wheel drive, though. So you do have that lovely sense of being pushed rather than pulled.
Yep.
It has a frunk, which is a big positive.
Frunk is great.
I mean, no other car in this class has it.
Rear-wheel drive, right? So yeah.
I do wish it had a bit of space in the back, like an extra false floor lifted up so that we could put some cables in the back there. I think that's a bit of a shame. But, I mean, for a city car, I think it's a great little buy. What would you put this up against competition-wise?
Well, you got to put it up against the other electric hatches. So, obviously the Atto 1, Aion UT is probably its biggest competition.
MG4 Urban. Even the Hyundai Insta for the top spec, a little bit more money, but you're getting more range and potentially, you're getting a Hyundai, which is a bit more of a known quantity in Australia at least than Geely. So yeah, there's a few there. Positives you'd get with this is that you're getting all of that Volvo safety tech. So if safety matters to you, then perhaps this is more what you want. But if you want more range, then the Aion UT has 430 kilometres of range. But this is more efficient than the Aion UT. So when you weigh it up,
less power. I think. I think this output tops out at about 85 kilowatts. So it's not a hot hatch.
No,
that's for sure.
By no means. It's got enough power though. It doesn't feel underpowered.
Certainly not in the city. You don't. For 90% of the driving this car is going to be for, you're not going to even notice. I don't think that there's less power than other vehicles in this class.
I do like that you can. So right now all the bings and bongs are turned on because I want people to have the experience, the full blown experience. But I've noticed immediately the bings and bongs are more subdued, just volume wise. They're more muted than in the Geely EX5 when I first drove that on the launch, which is also a nice thing.
Yeah, the tone in which the sound is delivered is quite important, isn't it, in terms of the whole ADAS experience.
Yeah.
And this one
and the fact that you can turn all that off in one tap, or just a swipe down and then a tap, is so important. It's so important.
Yeah. It's a funny acknowledgement that yes, the settings suck on default, but here's an easy way to turn it off again.
The settings suck. I'm going to quote you on that. Well, that's great. I feel very, very comfortable behind the wheel. I like that. I'd buy this top spec if I was going to buy anything. I do think maybe it is slightly overpriced because you do have quite a lot of other competition. I would personally love, I'm sure Geely wouldn't love it, but I would personally love if the advertised price before on-road costs was the actual sale price, the drive-away price. I think that would be a sweet spot for it. What do you think? Yeah,
I agree. I think that would turn what is a reasonable offer that doesn't necessarily stand out in the electric hatch market into something that would stand out. I think.
Really compelling.
Yeah.
Even just a couple of grand off. I think the problem for this car is that the base model Aion UT is 31 grand or 32 grand, and it has 430 kilometres of range, faster charging, and on paper, and people probably don't necessarily think about efficiency that much, on paper it actually is a really good buy. So I just would love to see even just a couple of grand knocked off this. I think would be fantastic.
26,490 before on roads for the base. 39.90 before on roads.
I think that would be. I mean, 31 grand for this would be fantastic.
So if that was the on road price, now we're looking at something which I think, what we're saying is really compelling.
Yeah.
I mean, great that they've brought this car. We've always been big fans.
Honestly, I'm so thrilled.
Yeah.
More hatches, more small cars. Brilliant. We need more of them. And if it's your second car, Well, then it's much more about, for you personally, I would say it's about driving dynamics and not necessarily about range or charging. Because if you're just charging it at home and just driving around the city, those things don't really matter that much. So it's really going to be about that.
Yep. I will correct myself. It is a 60 kilowatt motor, not a 85. So yeah, it definitely is lacking the punch that you would expect in more performance-focused vehicles, but this is not a performance-focused vehicle.
Yeah.
But because of the electric motor, it does still get that torque that you get from all electric vehicles. Certainly going to be a big upgrade on a Corolla or Holden Barina, or
and much more internal space than those cars. I don't know why it beeps at me for that. That one I'm unsure of. But in terms of its ride quality, it is also really good. Like, really soaks up those potholes, and it's fun. It's a fun little drive. But the steering to me is too light.
Yeah, it's the suspension is good. And I'm still looking at your screen trying to figure out what it is that it's beeping at you for. It's giving you it's flashing red at some points, but not really telling you what it is.
I don't know.
Anyway, suspension tuning is good, and very comfortable, but the steering a little bit light, feels a little bit disengaged from the road when you're driving, particularly on faster roads.
Right now we're driving through a national park in the city. It would be fantastic because you could just easily duck in and out of places, park easily. It would be fantastic. So that's not a problem. But yeah, I think just a bit more on probably highway driving and windy roads like this, you kind of notice it.
The start of the trip was stuck in peak hour traffic in the Sydney CBD, and that's a perfect use case for this car, I think. And it was very quiet, and I think it's a more than comfortable car than for that kind of thing. Being in the city, it feels well insulated.
It's a quiet cabin.
It's really easy to drive because of that light steering. So yeah, I think the light steering does a good purpose for an urban setting.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's a city car, and I don't think they're trying to sell it any other way.
No.
Thanks for chat, Sam.
Hey, what's good?
Nice to have a co-pilot for once.
Well, if you we'll probably chat about this more on the Driven podcast, which we'll probably record tomorrow.
Yes, if you don't follow the Driven podcast, you can watch it on YouTube, or you can follow it wherever you listen to your podcasts. Sam and I co-host that together.
We'll be chatting EX2 on the next episode, which may well be out by the time you see this video.
And depending on how quickly I edit this.
That's right, yeah. And of course the July sales numbers. So
big time. Actually, we will be talking about the EX2, but we won't be talking about the driving dynamics until the embargo, which is the 11th of August. So you will be hearing us talk on the Driven podcast first, potentially. Actually, no, you won't, because you won't know about... oh my God, my brain is hurting.
Your timeline is...
No, my timeline is completely off. There may be some people who already listen to the Driven podcast, that's true.
I don't even know what tense we're in anymore.
I don't even know who and where we are. We had to be there at 7:45 in the morning. Sam's had how many coffees? 2.
I've had 2.5.
I've had 2.
And yeah, I feel like I need another one already. It's one of those days. But we're happy to be here. It's nice to be...
We'll get... Oh, you know what I think that is beeping at us? It's the seat belt, and I think it's because we've got bags on the back seat. Maybe it's that.
Maybe it's that.
Mystery solved. There you go.
There you go.
All right. Well, thank you for chatting, Sam.
Always a pleasure.
All right. There you go. Bye.